I see a black man and one man, I think of strength, black empowerment we have within, building community development. Let's continue to build our own. Let's continue to stay strong. Motivation, no matter the hate, no stopping. You just go. Listen up to Quan, John, and Queen P for giving us a voice. Speak up for what's yours and yell and make that noise. We are kings and we are queens. Melanated royalty, just getting started. Loving self, self and knowledge. Stack that wealth. Motivational motors, y'all.
Luckily, it was at a point where I already had the basic knowledge needed to understand the fact that I did not have to work for somebody in order to be successful. So right out of the gate, I started working as a freelancer, and it helped. It helped so much. And it was a struggle at first because, I wasn't making but so much money, but I was my own boss. I was able to dictate what I could or what I would and wouldn't do. Like, nobody could tell me when to work, nobody could fire me. I was in charge of all of that. And I mentioned that I don't have kids yet, but I'm so happy and I feel so blessed that I'm at a point in my life where I now have edified my circle of friends so that I have the information that they're passing on to me. Like, it was through Q who told me about Robinhood and investing in the stock market. Never even knew about it.
That's right.
It was my older sister who told me how to use a credit card. Knew nothing about it. It was a couple other friends who told me about mortgage payments and not buying a single family home, but instead getting like a multifamily home or something like that. So all of that information came from people that I have become friends with, I've built relationships with, so that when my babies do get here, when I do have children, they're going to be one of the early generations that are born into that knowledge. And I would have been the first in my family to have a child that does that is born into that information, because no other member of my family are born knowing that. We're all born starting at the bottom and working our way up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I want to be the first in my family to change that. No,
that's what we talk.
Y'all are going to be born into that knowledge. And that don't mean my money is your money. Nope, you're going to get your own money. This is mommy, daddy's money. This is our money. But
that's right.
We're going to show you how to get your own.
But you're going to give them the platform to make theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. They'll have that platform that is not already built for Blacks. It's not there. It doesn't exist. We have to build that. And a lot of us build it when we're already kind of old and we have so many other things on our minds. So we don't go out to build that platform. But for those who are willing to put in the work, but not for themselves, but for the future, I think that's another issue, is that a lot of us look at, well, what can I do for myself? Like, what kind of life can I have? Because I want to be comfortable. I know that me and my husband are right now, we're not completely financially stable, but I'm not trying to get financially stable for us. I need to get financially stable so I know how to do it, so that when the kids get here, they will have that stability.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like too many people don't do that. Everybody wants that money right now. Well, they think, how can I make that
instant gratification?
Right. And it's like, it's not about you. It's not about you. Sorry. It's not. It's about the next generation.
Preach.
And so I just love that y'all are doing that. Like, you are building that platform. You guys mentioned that y'all got little babies. You got babies. And you're doing this. Like, I don't care. 7 is still a baby. If you under 10, you're still a baby. So you have...
My mother would say 44 still a baby, but let's be the head of it. But yeah, I'm telling you. Dang, okay, sorry.
But you guys have babies and you are building this platform for them. You're not forcing them to go out and find their own tools, find their own materials, and try to build a makeshift platform without knowledge. You're building that for them. And I love that. And I love seeing that Black people, and especially Black women, who are doing that. It was like, you know what? I'm going to go out and do my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the first major step to the Black community evolving, right? And getting out of this pit hole that we're in society, because economic power is so important, right? So us being able to take those steps so that we can build another Black Wall Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And get back to, doing for self. Like, that's so huge.
Mm-hmm.
Very huge. I mean, look at how I even met you guys at that event that Rama Mercy put together, which is on the real portion. Like I told you, man, Ooh, an event of that magnitude, I actually had goosebumps because I was feeling so good to be around my Black people. You understand? It made me feel so good, and it made me honestly. I mean, I'm a little older than you guys, but it actually believe in myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
I said, man, okay, you don't have to go to the plantation every day because look at this paper you done made in one day.
Right.
From black hand to black hand.
Yeah. Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
For real. So you know, and big up to my aunt Cole. I know she's gonna be watching the video. She's the one that actually found the young ladies. Actually, you know what I mean?
You're amazing. She is the best like PR person in the world. She was on
what happened? How did that? Tell me what happened.
Oh, because you know, go ahead. She came over there.
She came to our station, our booth or whatever, and then she just her energy, her message, and just her passion. You could just tell. You would have thought that she wrote this book. Like,
right, I was about to say
that. This is her work. She wrote all 3 of those books. That's you can't tell her nothing. But it was just meeting her. It was just an amazing experience. Like, I've never met anybody like her, and she is the right person to have supporting you. Like, that's your number one fan. She's amazing.
And it is. And you know why? That's so eloquently put. And the passion she has is what we all need to have for Black people.
Yes, I was going to say that. It's funny.
We all need to even if that's not a relative. When you see your Black brethren saying, yo, I'm about to open up this new thing. I'm about to start this new endeavor. You got to say, yo, go get it, brother. Do it, sister. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that little thing right there is just going to push them over the edge to their self-belief, man. We don't do that for one another, man. Honestly, I got people in my family. Yo, ladies, I got people in my family, for real, that haven't picked up my book. And no doubt, they may be functional illiterates, but that's neither here nor there. But I can teach you how to read, then you can read my book for the first time. You understand? For real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't understand how we don't support each other when we are all in the same struggle.
Right.
How is that
it's because we were taught to compete for one another. I mean, compete with one another. Like you look, and a lot of people like, I know we always talk about slavery, but whatever. You look at that, and they did whatever they could to try to split us up. Light-skinned people belong in the house. Dark-skinned people need to be in the field. They did everything they could to add those divides, to try to divide us up. Because when you're divided, you can't accomplish anything. That's basic. Everybody know that. You have to come together in order to achieve something great. Period. You can't do anything by yourself. Like, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine, and when I established the LLC, when I launched it, I posted on social media, thank you to everybody who helped me make this possible. And I was talking to her, and she was like, it kind of took her back a little bit because she was like, oh, you're right. You didn't do it by yourself. I'm like, no. How? There's no, how can you do anything by yourself? You can't. Like, and sure, it was like, okay, yeah, maybe I was the one who sat down and I went to the Secretary of State and I put in all the information. And yeah, maybe I was the one who called Legal Shield and was like, help me out with this. But it was everybody in my circle, from my husband to my sister to my friends to my extended family. It was all of those people who were like, boo, you got this. Or maybe let's not do this. Maybe let's do that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't by myself, but it's just like we are taught to compete with one another for everything. And you know what? It's not just the US. Same thing in Nigeria. If you look at the Nigerian school system, they are taught to compete tooth and nail for education. So it's like my brother-in-law, he runs a school in Abuja, and he talks about how a lot of these kids are fighting one another, not physically fighting, but competing with one another to be the top of their class. Because those at the top of the class go to the better school and then they'll move on and so on and so forth. But you look at Nigerian parents who loves to brag about their children. Well, my child, Black people do too, period. Like Black Americans do the same thing. Oh, well, my such is a doctor. My such went to this school.
Well, we do it more so for superficial things though. You know what I'm saying? The native Blacks in America, we do it more so, oh, look at the new Jordans my son got him. Yeah. We do that. We do it like that. and I'm going to just interrupt you when you said that. Now, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with healthy competition as it pertains to education. You understand? Now, when it starts getting violent or it starts emotionally wrecking the child, then that's a problem. But if they're competing educationally, that's actually just making them raise the bar higher. You understand? And
it does, but it's not healthy here. Like you see these young, I'm not talking about like kids in high school.
So they overdo it.
They're in elementary school.
They overdo it. Okay, yeah. Overdoing anything will kill you.
He's explaining to me how they do it, like the level of competition, and like these kids are getting burnt out, and it's just the education system.
Oh yeah, then that's the problem.
But that competition, competition is like there's limited solidarity. And the same thing in Black communities. We don't have solidarity. We can all get behind each other when something bad happened to us and they'd be like, let's get together and let's protest when we do that. Okay, but where were y'all when so-and-so lost their house? Where were you when this person, was dealing with whatever issue? Like when it becomes a national issue or it reaches the news, then you want to react. Right. But when your cousin needs help because he can't make his rent, you're nowhere to be found.
Right.
When your sister is struggling with let's say her baby daddy or whatever, you're nowhere to be found. Like, where's that solidarity when it matters? But we love to get out in front. We love to get in the news. We love to protest. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with bringing awareness to situations. But it's like, for me, I often feel like it's a facade. It don't mean nothing because people just go to social media and say what they want to say and then go home and be doing the same stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Yeah. And so like, it's just so, exactly. Then the cycle continues. It's like, where were you for your brother? You weren't there. Oh, but when George Floyd got killed, you were everywhere. You didn't know that dude. I'm sorry. Like, you didn't know that guy. It's messed up. And I get that you want to bring awareness to it, but you didn't know that dude. But the person you do know that's struggling or has their own issue, you're not there for them. Where's your protest? Where's your hashtag? It's not there. You're not doing nothing. So I just feel like that competition is instilled in us. And as a habit that we continue, that we don't break. And so we don't have that solidarity. And I love when we have like discussions like these, or we have groups like this, like us, or even the emancipation movement. You have all of these people come together because we're all of the same mind. Like, we don't got time to be pretending to care about something. Like, we don't have time to fuss about that. We're trying to build what we need to build. But at the same time, be there for the people that need us and that will appreciate that help. And so like, I just love everything about everything that we're doing right now.
It's Portia Mystique. You are the little big sister I never had. You know what I'm saying? For real. I'm serious. You're the little big sister I never had. You laid that down flat and wow. Woo.
Very well put together.
It was put together, and you put, since you used the education component, I want to ask these guys about that question. How do you individually feel about kids going to college or feeling like they have to go to college to quote unquote make it? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I grew up, of course, thinking that I had to go to school, which I did.
That's what they did.
Me and Jess, we both went to school, got majors, and we majored in whatever degree or whatever. We both have degrees. We're not using them right now. That does have anything to do with our business that we are doing right now. So I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but if your path takes you down the way to not go to school, then don't go to school. It's not mandatory to become successful. It's not mandatory to it's just not.
It's not. Yeah. Like we are set up so that we think, okay, we're going to high school. Right after high school, it's on to college. That's what my parents expect me to do. That's what society expects me to do. That's what I think I should do as a citizen. Like literally, and then you don't give yourself time. I didn't give myself time to understand what I really wanted to do with my life. Just well, I like allied health, so I'm gonna do nursing. Nursing, I get into nursing. I'm like, I'm not doing nursing.
This ain't my thing.
Right. And then I'm into like, okay, well, I love forensic science. Let me just switch to forensic science. And then it's just like ultimately as you grow and mature, because you're still a child once you graduate high school,
absolutely,
and you learn this is really not my passion. This is really not what I want to do. I'm not even built for this right now. Right. And you know, I'm grateful because the job that I did receive after college, I needed a degree, and that wasn't nothing but God placing it right where it was, right? But I'm still, you know, I'm in debt now for something that I'm really not gonna use at this point.
Yes, and that's the point I was just about to make after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a little bit older than you guys, and it's like I came from the City University of New York institution, so I know the ploy of the college school system because I was amongst it. You know what I mean? And it got me sick after a while. In the 70s, this was all planned out. You understand? In the early 70s, young ladies, and Portia has heard this before, we had all the trades in the high school. Okay. Right. We had all the trades. We can become the carpenter. We could become the social worker. We could become the plumber. You understand? We could even become the teacher and leave high school and go into our respective careers. The powers that be, they shut that down. So now what do we have to do? Go to college. What does college cost? Money. Yeah. We don't have it. What do we have to do? Take out loans. And lose situation. I got a master's degree too. I went to college too. You understand? But it was an all systemic ploy, like she said, to get us into debt. Now I don't have enough money to even buy my house or buy my car. And now I'm making $35,000 and I'm never going to pay this loan off. But I can say, hey, look at me. I went to Harvard. That means nothing. And I've said it before, the Miss Portia mistake. You got two people. You got the dude that graduated from Harvard with 5 degrees, and you got the woman that has 3 children, and she leaves her abusive baby father to say, you know what? I'm not going to take this no more. And she sets out on her own journey, gets her own apartment, starts her own business, and raises her kids to the best of her ability alone because she doesn't want to be violated. She's more intelligent, if that word exists, than this dude that graduated Harvard. That's paperwork. What she did, that took sense. Yeah. To leave this guy and take care of her business in life. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree about the college situation. Now, don't get me wrong. If you get a full scholarship, do your thing and go there. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, they're going to only teach you what they want you to hear anyway. You know what I'm saying?